Good morning, welcome to Casa TexPina. We're on build day number 90 here today. A bit of good news. Casa TexPina on YouTube has hit 200 subscribers today. Slowly growing, but we're growing. Today we're expecting more plaster coat on the inside. They're going to start actually doing skim coat today. I'll show you that as we get into the master suite. They're starting to skim coat. That's where they go over and I'll show you later. Still working on the rafters or the trusses today. They'll continue work on that. Over on the far end of the house, on the south side, they are starting to dig out where the fence line is going to go. So they got a couple of laborers over there starting to dig out the fence line. So we'll show you that as we go throughout the day. Again, welcome and thanks for watching. Let's see how things go throughout the day, and let's get started. All right, starting this morning, we've got a couple of guys. This is Mr. Edmund and Mr. Alex down here at the end, and they're starting to dig out where the fence line is going to go along the south edge of the property. So they're actually digging right along our property line, and they'll go until they hit the Mahon, as they call it here. It's a benchmark monument. Should be in this area. A lot of times it just gets covered up with dirt. There it is right there. That's the Mahon. So that's how he knows where our property line is. And he'll do that as they dig around. And they'll go from Mahon to Mahon, digging it out, make sure that we stay within our property line, because in actuality in this subdivision, from the Mahon to the edge of the sidewalk is not our property. That actually belongs to the subdivision, but they expect us to take care of it as well in the front, to make sure that it has a nice neat appearance. Sometimes you'll see folks that will most of the time actually you'll see folks that will go ahead and landscape that on their own. But we're not supposed to actually build anything on it. Landscaping's okay, everything else, it belongs to the subdivision. Okay, coming back inside. Mr. Surge, I see which ones you're talking about. You want to see these other ones a little bit more, a little bit safer. They did bend down the ones on the immediate door. I'll talk to the foreman and see if we can't get something better done with that. Safety is usually not a top concern here, unfortunately. So see if I can move back into here through the, no, I ain't getting through there. Okay, so we've got several different things going on in the master bedroom. I'll come around and see if I can get to a better location to show you everything. Okay, side. Gentleman over here, right here, is getting ready to plaster coat those walls in the hallway. On this side, you can see they've already skim coated the bottom half. This is just the first coat of the skim coat. This is how they're doing the process. It's like think of it like a mud coat, like you would do on sheetrock or on gypboard, except here they use the skim coat, and what it does is it helps smooth out all the imperfections in the concrete, fills in the holes. Think of it more like a prime coat you would do on wood or metal. So they do this to prep the concrete to get ready for actual paint. So they'll do this a couple times. They'll get it all prime coated, get it all skim coated, they call it. And then once the skim coat is done, they'll let it dry, come back, sand it, and do the whole process all over. They usually do 2 to 3 skim coats depending on the severity of the concrete, and then press on with paint at a later point. Okay, the other thing we got going on, Mr. Marvin here is getting forms together, and they're going to continue the forms for the top bond beam here. around this area. All right, let's go back inside and take a look at where everybody else is at. Okay, we've got two guys right here in the immediate living room and breakfast nook area that I showed you yesterday afternoon that are prepping plaster coat. So they're doing the plaster coat here on this area. And this is the breakfast nook wall. Also doing one on this side here. This is where the breakfast bar will extend, and this is the divider between the living room and the kitchen area. All right. Bedroom 2 is also very busy this morning. Sige. Don't stop because of me. I'm just taking pictures. We got 3 different things going on here. The electrician, Mr. Tuck here, is redoing the outlet corners for all the switches and outlets, making sure they're nice and square after they got done with the plaster coat yesterday. Mr. Ben here is continuing with the plaster coat. This is the last wall in bedroom 2 that needs to get done, aside from the interiors of the walk-in closet and Jack and Jill bath. Up on top, Mr. Carlito is fabricating the beams that need to go across there, the metal part. So once he gets those fabricated, that'll be the top of the bond beams, and they will come back and form those and pour those at a later point. All right, so like I said, lots of stuff going on this morning.
All right, we're gonna do the mid-morning walk around here. So these guys are still securing the trusses from yesterday afternoon, getting them into a better location. Down here, gentlemen are sifting through some of the older sand that we had on the site to get rid of the large rocks that we have here. So they've got a sifter there that they're doing it by hand. Okay, let's go take a walk around, take a look in bedroom number 2 over here where we saw the gentleman earlier. Up here, they're still working the bond beam at the top. Mr. Ben over here is screeding the plaster coat. Mr. Tuck's over here squaring off the outlets, making sure that after the plaster coat went through that they're decent shape to where when they put the boxes back in, they put the cover plates over, that it looks correct. All right, let's go look at it. All right, so we've got plaster coat going up in the master hallway, as well as plaster coat here in the living room and the breakfast nook. So we've got all these areas getting plaster coated, and up above me, they're removing the forms and the braces from underneath of the dormer window. So these are the cantilever beams and the dormer window floor slab. So those are coming down. Here in the master, Mr. Wilson is doing the skim coat. So he's got it already mixed, so they get all the rough edges off. Then they'll go back over it again with the plaster coating. Sorry, skim coating. They're doing the skim coating next, and that's what you're going to see them come up. And get around the other side, see if we can get a better picture. Okay. Again, this helps smooth out all the imperfections in the concrete surface. Also acts as a prime coat to ready it for painting at a later point. That's what these guys are doing. All right, let's go take a look around the other side of the house here on the south wall. Mr. Alex is down there by his lonesome right now. They are working the foundation wall for the perimeter fence. They're going from mahon, you can see it here, or as we call them in the States, benchmarks. This is the property benchmark. There's another one right in front of where he's at, and they're going to work the perimeter fence foundation wall all along that edge. This will be done with 5-inch hollow block all the way around. There will be posts every so often that will be done. They'll be the same as we did with the columns over here for the house. It'll have a square footer with the column coming up for the post, and then they'll do the base of the hollow block all throughout the whole length of the wall. All right, looking on the other side of the garage, underneath all the welding, you see Mr. Alex and Mr. Carlito over here, still fabricating the remainder of the roof beams, or top bond beams. All right, so they'll continue working those. All right, the welders are moving from the garage area back over to the upstairs. They're going to start working on these long arches coming off of the long trusses coming off of the top of the main roof ridge. Okay, let's go take a look around on the inside and see where folks are at. Mr. Jericho is working on smoothing out the plaster coat. This is the breakfast nook wall just before we head out onto the back patio. Looks like the Mr. Tuck, our electrician, is chipping out switches again. These are should be the switches to turn on the lights both in the garage and in the hallway here, coming into the kitchen as we go in and out of this garage door. Okay, back here up on the top, Mr. Justin is continuing to work the plaster coating for this wall here as well. This is between the kitchen on that side and the living room on this side. Also, the extension of the breakfast bar comes out off of this wall, about 2 meters. All right, let's see if I can find my way into the back half here. Okay, looks like the top half of the master's hallway is at a rough position for plaster coat. Still has a little bit more thickness to go, as you can see with the string lines that are here. Still has a little bit of distance between the edge. If I can see daylight, that means they don't have enough. Let's go ahead and work our way through. The guys up top here in the master bath are also working forms for the remaining bond beams at the top. Mr. Wilson is still working skim coat. So you can come over here and take a look. Let's take a look at the difference between. Okay, so this is the rough concrete when they're finished. This is actually on a fairly smooth level. And then they do the plaster coat. This almost feels like sheetrock. The texture is slightly chalky, very smooth, but you can still feel, like you can see right here, you can still see the difference in the elevations on the texture. So once this is all done and dried, they're going to come back and sand all this and then do the skim coat again, because that'll help. See how you have little divots like this, just little holes in the concrete. That's what the skim coat helps fill in on here, but it also acts as a prime coat, getting it ready for paint. So again, this is only the first coat. That's why you can still see roughly exactly where he went with his strokes.
So he'll continue working this probably the rest of the day. So let's go see where everybody else is at. Let's go take a look down the guest side of the house. More chipping. Trying to get some of the columns smoothed out where they had blowouts and bows from the forms. It'll also help get it ready for when they start to plaster coat all of this area. Pwede pasok? Okay. Thank you. Mr. Benz, you're working on the smooth finish for the top half plaster coat. And up on top, Mr. Alex is still fabricating the top bond beams here. Same thing that they did on this area here earlier today. Now they're going to continue across the top of the wall separating the walk-in closet, Jack and Jill lavatory from the main bedroom on this side. And they've also got this little small portion right here to do at the top of the wall separating walk-in closet and the lavatory on that side. All right. The next thing these guys are moving on to, the welders are starting to work on the trusses, the actual trusses now, that are going to come down from the main roof ridge here. They're going to come down to the back pad, over the back patio. So they got 4 of them here, T2, 3, 4, and 5. Those are the main trusses coming down on the west side of the house. This T3 and T2 will underlie the dormer window. So this piece, the dormer will actually sit above this roof line. So we'll see how this plays out over the next day and a half, and we'll show you as they start putting it together. I'll get some drone footage here shortly and show you where they finished up on this side, as well as they're getting started coming across the top roof to the back over the patio. So they're going to put this truss. This is going to go from up near where the guy is at the top, all the way down the side here, over the top of the dirty kitchen, and hang out over the back porch here. That'll be this is truss number 5 that they're putting up. On the plans it shows as truss number 5. Obviously they put up a few more than that. So zooming in here, yes, they are making sure that those attach together on this corner, and then up on the top they should be attaching that one into the corner right here where the top of the roof ridge meets the trusses coming down. Okay, let's go take a look around this afternoon and see where everybody's at. Mr. Justin's wrapping up, Mr. Jericho here is wrapping up on this wall, so he's doing a little bit of finishing, getting it smoothed out on the plaster coat. All right, and Mr. Justin's working on his, smoothing his out now as well. Looks like Mr. Pablo over here has been making concrete for the guys that were pouring the concrete up here. Looks like they're moving. They're putting concrete in the columns that were up here that still needed some more concrete in them as well. So they're doing the bucket brigade on the way up. Back here in the master suite, Mr. Jojo is wrapping up on his plaster coating for the top half of the wall. Mr. Wilson is working on the finishing touches of the skim coat. Today is skim coat over plaster coat. So we have skim coat over the top of the plaster coat all around in the master bedroom, with the exception of the wall we're looking through. He even did the inside edge of the window sills. So let's go. I believe that's where most everybody's at. Let me go back into the bedroom, or the guest bedroom side of the house, and see how Mr. Ben's plaster coating is coming along. Oh, Yurina. Almost. Not yet. Nanganagawa mo. Oh, you're gonna get started for the bottom piece. All right, it's almost jabba dabba do time. These guys are starting to wrap up, put tools away. The welders are completed for the day. As you can see, they did a little bit more work on the trusses up here above the garage, and actually started moving over to do the trusses along the back half of the house, doing from the center ridge down to the back patio. Also, earlier today I showed you a couple of different times, I know it gets redundant, about skim coating. They do skim coat here to make sure they fill in all the holes, make it smooth, have a good paint when they get done. Very important part of prepping for the finish work. Okay, a lot of good progress today. For all you subscribers, thank you. We reached over 200 today. 200. We're getting there slowly. Share with your friends, show them what they're missing, show them the great action and good house building information that you're watching. If you like today's video, please give us a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of these videos, hit the Casa TexPina star right over here. Make sure you're subscribed. You want to be notified when our next video is uploaded for your viewing pleasure? Hit the bell icon just below the view screen. You'll be notified. Leave us some comments. Like, comment, subscribe, share. And last but not least, have a great afternoon and God bless. Thank you for watching. If you liked today's video, please hit like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon to be notified when our next video becomes available.